The kids' favorite function of the animatronic duck is the emotions. And if you download an app on your phone, you can do other stuff with your duck, such as give it a virtual shower, as well as feed it. I may be overdressed to be doing this, but the service of the students of CIU is simply too contagious. Alex Tejada, ABC Columbia News. You might think that littering only trashes the community, but it can also land you in quite a bit of legal trouble depending on the severity of the offense. And there's plenty of interesting books at the library, so be sure to take your child to the local branch to find books in English and in Spanish. Reportando al Biblioteca Richland Noreste, Alex Tejada, ABC Colombia. When work is completed next year, Railroad Corner will be home to new businesses, a civil rights museum, as well as much-needed housing for the city's two HBCUs, Claflin and SC State. There's 8 other restaurants participating in Black Eats Week 803, and the first 3 people to visit all of them win some money. So let's visit the next location. No bills were discussed on Wednesday, but lawmakers will be back June 18th with plenty of unfinished business, including the restructuring of several of the state's health agencies. While I have been driving for about 15 years, this is my first time ever doing the Fatal Vision driving simulator. With hundreds of these furry guys for adoptions, there's a good chance you find your new best friend this weekend. Reporting at Palmetto Lifeline, Alex Tejada, ABC Columbia News.
We don't lose very many times in this place because of the environment that you all create.
In fact, Dawn Staley's team have not lost in Colonial Life Arena in the past 3 seasons. However, their undefeated season was tested yesterday in the national championship game against Iowa.
For the first 3 minutes of the game, we got blown out. But the 37 other minutes?
Some Gamecocks fans were nervous during the title game, but not USC student Colson Wright, who attended all of the team's home games this season.
I knew that our team had the depth to compete. Caitlin Clark's a great player, but 1 player versus 9 players are just not going to add up. I knew that Gamecock Nation was going to come through and we were going to win the game yesterday.
After losing in the Final Four last season, USC's returning players had a point to prove. Coach Staley says this group was unlike any she has coached during her career.
They held each other accountable. They encouraged each other. What you saw them be able to do, like all of them, each and every one of them took their turn in making an impact on any given night for our team to be successful.
I think the fact how we operated our freshmen into the game, we didn't really hold back from the start of the season. They were part of the game in Paris and it just kept going. And that camaraderie that they built really early on just propelled us to the end.
And in the end, the USC women's basketball team took home a 2nd title in 3 years, celebrating with the trophy in front of their loyal fans.
I had to be here today, and I got to see her so close, give her a high five. It made my year. I love those girls in Dawn Staley. Terrific, great job.
While all of Gamecock Nation celebrates a perfect 38-0 season, something tells me that Coach Dawn Staley already has an eye looking forward to November and the new season. Reporting in Colonial Life Arena, Alex Tejada, ABC Columbia News. A peaceful evening in May, interrupted by 22 seconds of gunfire.
These are all kids, and these are guns. And this is why our community is living in terror right now, because of individuals like this that are just indiscriminately just shooting.
Tuesday night, RCSD responded to the pool in the Villages at Lakeshore Community in Northeast Columbia. They pulled up on an incident involving multiple shooters, 75 shots, and at least 80 individuals.
Our deputies responded so quickly the other night that they actually saw one of the individuals with a gun running.
That individual was 17-year-old Trayshawn Keller. Deputies arrested Keller and charged him as an adult. However, Sheriff Lott says more arrests are coming for anyone involved in the incident, which resulted in a 16-year-old suffering a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. Many neighbors were able to provide footage of the shooting.
This is what we need to look at. We don't need to look at him when they're all cleaned up and got a nice suit on and mama's standing there crying because he's a good boy. Where was mama and daddy at when he was out here doing this?
Investigators have video from doorbell cameras but are asking for the community's help. Anyone with a Ring camera or similar footage is asked to bring that to the Richland County Sheriff's Department.
I've stood up here too many times and said enough is enough, but enough is enough. Yeah, this has got to be a joint effort between the community and parents and the sheriff's department. This is not just a sheriff's department issue. Your son may end up being the picture, that next picture I show up here, or your son or your daughter may be the one that I'm talking about who's dead.
Lott says keeping up with children is a parent's responsibility, but also believes more can be done to protect the community from gun violence.
Every community needs to have cameras, and they need to form a homeowners group that is very active, that looks out for each other. I'm worried about what's going on in Richland County and what we're going to do as a community to stop it.
Alex Tejada, ABC Columbia News.
It is a great day. I think God's smiling down on this assembly today. I truly believe that.
Wednesday morning at a church in Spartanburg, Governor Henry McMaster signed the Child Online Safety Act, a bill aimed at keeping kids from seeing inappropriate material online.
We're going to make sure before any child in this state has access to that material, they're going to verify their age. Now, I agree, it's a parent's job. It's a parent's primary responsibility to raise and protect their children. But when you deal with issues like this, that's where it's appropriate for the state to step in and produce policy to help parents protect their children.
Another bill that Republican lawmakers in South Carolina believe will protect children is the Help Not Harm bill. It prohibits healthcare professionals from providing gender transitioning care to anyone under the age of 18.
Giving kids drugs for this and operations for this would have been considered child abuse 7 years ago. And this bill makes a strong statement that child abuse will not be tolerated in our state.
Members of PFLAG, an organization advocating for LGBTQ issues, disagrees with the bill banning gender-affirming care.
It prevents their parents from having the right to treat them how they feel is best for their child. People like Josh Kimbrell and Governor McMaster and several other politicians are very much for parental rights until it comes down to the parents of youth with gender dysphoria. And that is absolutely absurd.
Bible says that gender transitioning is a long, well-thought-out decision involving more than just the child and their parents.
Counselors, therapists, medical doctors, endocrinologists. There's no surgeries being performed in South Carolina. Dr. Mack from Charleston has testified about that several times. Why get in the way of something that you're not a part of, that you don't totally understand?
Reporting in Spartanburg, Alex Tejada, ABC Columbia News.
The hardest part about it was just feeling isolated from all your friends in school and just feeling lonely and going through something else that other people weren't going through.
For 45 years, Camp KEMO has been helping cancer patients at Prisma Health Children's Hospital have a fun week with other kids.
Camp KEMO has been one of the greatest experiences of my life. It's just full of compassion and friendliness, and it really helped me get through one of the hardest experiences of my life.
Now, David is a counselor at the same camp he attended. He and dozens of other counselors, doctors, and staff help put on the fun activities for the kids who attend the 6-day campout in Eastover.
They get to do plenty of new kid activities like archery and pool time, paddle boarding, waterfront things. And the goal is really to give them a summer camp experience in a medically fun and safe environment.
Kids like Waylon, who was diagnosed with leukemia in 2022, enjoy the activities out on the water the most.
Going tubing. Yeah, at the lake. Because last year we did that, and that was like the funnest thing of the whole camp. It's like the funnest place ever.
Even though camp just began on Monday, he is already having fun with his new friends.
We found a balloon in our cabin, which was fun. We played. We couldn't let the balloon touch the floor because it was a game we made.
The camp is free for families, funded through the Prisma Health Midlands Foundation.
I just want to give these kids memories. This is a really hard time. And it's not just the kids with cancer, but their siblings as well, because they also go through a really difficult time watching their brother or sister go through treatment. So we just want them to have, to take away some memories, some really positive times during an otherwise very difficult time in their life.
There's light at the end of the tunnel. I'm so glad I kept pushing forward and made it past all of it, because I am so very happy now.
Reporting at Camp KEMO in Lower Richland, Alex Tejada, ABC Columbia News.